Yeah, the restream is getting stuff coming through.
Then we can do some Unreal Tournament for game night.
Yeah, restream's coming through. Okay, I'm just waiting for the various connections. Twitch is activating. Check the audio.
Okay, restream's coming through.
Yeah.
Coming through.
Yeah, we're good. We're running.
Fantastic.
Hey. Good day, everyone. Myself, Ram.
Skazz, yes.
Welcome to episode 130. No,
130? 20? What?
163 of
When
the
the fuck did we go back a couple of years? It's a couple of years.
Yeah, we do 26 a year.
When the fuck did we go back in time that far? What happened?
That was before times, pre-COVID.
I was going to say, like, you know, I appreciate where you're going with that. Like, yay! Do you remember when life used to be cool?
Do you remember when life was normal and you could just like go out and, you know, I fancy just going out today. I want to go down to the park and meet people.
No.
And you'd see those people and you wouldn't be scared and run away to the other side.
No.
And you could see people's faces.
Yeah, do you remember a time when you couldn't walk into a bank with your face covered?
Or post office.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually made a joke about robbing Barclays Bank in town. I remember years ago you wouldn't let me walk into it with my face covered, and now it's a requirement. This is great.
How did they take it?
Well, at first the woman looked kind of shocked, and then she laughed. So it's not the first time that I've almost got in trouble for almost holding up a bank. So a few years prior, we made a bank clerk almost crap herself. Me and Chalky went into the bank. And pretty much the same kind of groove, just without the face masks. And the look on her face as Chalky said, "Yeah, mate, this is a fucking. We're just gonna rob the bank. This is a fucking stick up. Empty out all the drawers and give us your money." The fucking look on her face of shock horror was just like, "No, we're kidding. It's cool."
Yeah, that's how you get yourself in trouble, Skazz.
Yeah,
that's how problems occur.
It's back when things were fun.
Yeah. That's when, that's how we have issues, you know?
Most people drink and smoke for fun. Me, I go and, pretend rob a bank.
So, guys, what have you been up to? I know what you've been fiddling around with.
Well, that sounds really weird. Thanks, man.
That's all right. I just want to set you up just then.
Yeah, well, I'll be honest with you. I've not been doing a whole hell of a lot because, lockdowns. Although I'm sure I could be a lot sneakier than I usually am and go out and do a whole fuck ton of stuff. But as far as what have I been fiddling with, other than myself, Unreal Tournament server.
Whoop whoop.
Do you remember years, was it like a year ago or so? No, it might not have even been no, it would have probably been sometime before COVID, or maybe even during COVID. We were talking about potentially setting up an Unreal Tournament 2004 server.
I think that was during COVID.
Oh, fair that. Well, lifetimes have blended together at this point. I have no idea what day of the week this is.
Look. We're currently in, DC during COVID. And the before times are BC, before COVID.
Good job.
And then we've got PV, post-vaccine, coming up.
Post-vaccine, oh my God.
So, back in, BC 1, -1, I think is where we were talking about setting up a server, because we did temporarily set up a Quake server, didn't we?
We did, yes.
And we decided to have a fight to death and prove who was the superior Quake player. Mm-hmm. And we found out very quickly that you are by far the superior Quake player, and I was absolutely trounced.
That's not true. That is not true. Right. Because people didn't get to see this match, right? It was not true. Round 2...
It was a bloodbath.
Round 2, you did good.
I killed like 3 times. You killed me like 20.
That was round 1.
No, round 1. I think I killed you once.
Oh, really?
That was by luck, yes.
No, I'm sure you did better in round 2.
Round 2 I did a little bit better. Round 3 is when I got to about, I think we got sort of 920.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah. Trouble was I kept going to Rainbow Six mode every time I tried to play
trying to crouch down and stealth down the corners like, mate, that's not going to work.
Prone. Yeah, go prone, iron sights. No, this ain't good. No.
Just imagine him trying to dolphin dive onto the floor and 360 no-scope me.
And projectiles are so slow in Quake.
Yeah, quite.
They are so slow. compared to people think it's a fast pace, but it's not. They are so slow.
Character-wise, movement's pretty quick. Every other gun's pretty quick, but the rockets, like just no. If a character stupidly fires from any kind of distance, you can easily sidestep that motherfucker.
Yeah, well, it's because a lot of the sort of weapons that actually fire projectiles of some description, they're not hit scan, are they?
I don't think so. No.
So no, and the ones that are hit scan tend to be the weakest. So
it's all fun.
There you go. It's all fun. Yeah, it's all fun. Yeah.
So we were talking about doing that, and we actually ran into trouble setting up a UT 2004 server because we couldn't get hold of a serial key. Now, admittedly, we could have just used, Bron bought another copy of UT 2004 and used that key in the server. But we were going to go the Unreal route and go to their website, and their website had a generator for you to, I would like to run a UT server, and then they'd email you a key. Well, they didn't do that anymore, so we couldn't run a server. But in the recent histories, I got into a call with honorary nerd Zaber, and was like, hey mate, random conversation, as me and Zaber normally have, and somehow we got to Unreal Tournament. And we were like, oh mate, I haven't played UT in like 20 years or something like that. So I've got a box here that I can set up a containerized UT server. Do you want me to like try and set one up and like we'll give it a go? And it's like, yeah, and then within like 20 minutes we're like kicking the shit out of each other. It was great. So I'm thinking of sorting out, and I mean, not that we have to do that. We can literally just run UT and Quake locally when we want to play. But I wanted to have something running all the time for rand nerds kind of thing, so like maps on rotation, and people could just jump in and jump out whenever they wanted to. But I mean, so we could do the whole local thing, but digging around with setting up servers. Played some UT, played some Unreal Tournament, just standard Unreal Tournament, like Game of the Year. But it was on a 99 server, so I didn't have all the expansion packs. So fun! So fun!
I mean, UT is fun. I haven't played UT in years.
I think I last properly played it in college.
I played the PS2 version of UT.
Cool, blimey.
Yeah, I because it came out wasn't quite a launch game. It was going to be a launch game, I think. All these are very early game for PlayStation 2. Because I remember when I went to PlayStation 2, we went and bought the PSN2 magazine, the first issue that came with a videotape.
Oh.
That videotape had trailers of all the various games that were going to kind of come out on the PS2.
Can I start there? I used to love that when magazines said that they came with a VHS tape for you to like N64 magazine has a tape with all of the latest all the N64 games you're going to want to play when it comes out, kind of thing. And PlayStation magazine. That was good times back in the day.
They were good. Actually, I was like, because they used to. Then after they did take for a short time, and they switched to putting, because they realised that PlayStation 2s has DVD players, so they started putting out DVDs, and so you could watch your DVD, and they were quite cool because they actually made a point of. They didn't just have trailers on there; they also had like all their reviews of all the games. They would actually sit there.
Oh, that's neat.
They would sit there. They'd like watch the game. They'd all sit around, chat about, like the guy who did the review would talk about it. They'd like talk about. You could watch it even with or without the commentary. It was for its time. That was really quite swish.
Yeah, for sure.
Also, that came with a magazine for free. That was quite. I had a lot of respect for those guys at PSM2. A lot of respect for them because that was a really neat idea and very ahead of its time, actually.
Yeah, sure.
So
I think the only real online video thing for games pre that would have probably been Classic Game Room, the original Classic Game Room from like the year, it was 1999, I think, that started, and that was on like dial-up. So, that's the idea that they actually produced a DVD, a multi-track like DVD, so you can just watch the thing, or you can watch like a commentary of it. That's pretty rad.
It was really cool, and there are trailers on there as well. So you watch the trailers, and I also think at one point they used to put demos on there as well. So really, quite a versatile.
Really packed this.
Yeah,
I mean, you had 4 gigs to play with then, didn't you? So.
And that's every month they did that.
That's intense. Jesus, the workflow on producing the DVDs. Whew.
Yeah.
So to do one a month, they must have got that down.
It's going to be a case they must have had a person. That's all they did.
Yeah.
What's Meta DVDs? I know because I used to listen to PC Gamer podcast, and they talked to one of the guys there who had the job of doing the demo disc, and he said he used to remember times where he used to have to. He'd finish like creating the mark. Because he used to make the master at the place, and they'd have to run to the sort of, I suppose you call them a printer. You know, once you actually stamp the discs.
Yeah, the guys who press the discs. Yeah.
Yeah, press. Yeah. So they made like that master, and he had to sort of like leave their offices and sort of like get buses and taxis to the place to hand them the disc so they could make it in time for the magazine release.
Good times. Remember the days back when you couldn't just order everything online.
I used to love demo discs. I used to love demo discs. Is what got me into PC gaming because I remember back. I saw when we first got a new and modern-ish PC. Prior to that, we had an old Packard Bell 133.
Everyone has the old Packard Bell. I still have the old Packard Bell. Mine's up in the loft.
I don't know where. I think ours is long gone, but you couldn't kill it. It's probably still intact somewhere because you can't kill those. They're solid.
Yeah, for sure.
We got a new machine, and I just got. I had a part, and someone just gave me a pile of demo discs from this magazine, PC Gamer. But I literally spent like a weekend just installing every demo one after the other and playing it.
Rad.
Yeah, that's what got me into Operation Flashpoint. It's what got me into. What other game was it that got me into? But Operation was probably the one I most. Half-Life got me to Half-Life because it had a demo of Half-Life on it.
Sure.
Half-Life Opposing Force to be exact. But yeah, I just play. That was so much fun. They had Tomb Raider demos. It was great fun. Happy days. Happy days.
Close out there, I remember playing Tomb Raider on my old PC, my old Packard Bell. Then Tomb Raider 2 came out, and I wasn't really all that like, I need to upgrade my video card. So I played like Tomb Raider 2 at like fucking 10 frames a second.
Oh, I did the same with original Rainbow Six. Original Rainbow Six, my old 133 couldn't handle it, and it was running really choppy.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember emailing to the people how to make it run faster, and they came back and said, right, you need to put your graphics to minimum. So I was running at like 480p.
Yeah, I was going to say, well, in fairness though, we didn't have super high res monitors back then either, did we?
No.
But, like, the idea was that we'd have to like kind of make a super tiny window on that super tiny screen.
But you know how original Rainbow Six, and I'm talking about original Rainbow Six, had like you had the map and you had like all the people's pictures and then the health stage. That was disappeared in the low res version. It was all gone. They switched all that off. So yeah, I can't remember what it looked like at the low res. You had like real basic stuff, and that allowed me to play the game at something like I'd say 5 to 10 FPS.
What more do you need?
As opposed to 1 FPS. And I got through the first, because I think there's 17 levels in the first game. I got through to the penultimate level playing it like that.
Fuck, that's dedication right there. No wonder you're better at tactical shooters than I am, mate. Going back to that story of our match in Quake, when it comes to tactical shooters, you've got me fucking beat every day of the week.
Depends on what I've been drinking, really.
Hey, dude, I can hit a high-speed moving fucking target, no problem. But, I don't know, when it comes to them tactical shooters and people being all stealthy and that, I'm like, no, mate, that's not how I got to shoot. That's the mailman.
One thing I'm going to put on our list is I'm going to put on probably armor, and what I'm going to do is there's like, 'cause you can do like team missions.
Yeah.
And you can also create missions. So perhaps I might just create some custom missions for us.
Yeah, by custom mission, you mean the place where you automatically spawn with a sniper rifle on the other side of the fucking map.
Yeah, and you guys put on a little box.
Yeah, we have to try and bum rush you from the other side of the map.
That's the great thing about armor, is you can have great fun because it's got this little play set mission editor. I can go, hey guys, how do you fancy just being a tank, just going tank hunting? I can plop a tank down. One can be the driver, one can be the commander, one can be the gunner, and I can just drop a load of targets down. We just drive around the map, just shooting things.
Do you know what? A game I wish, Battlefield, like Battlefield Vietnam, or that was 1942.
That does local service, is it not?
It does. I can't get hold of it anymore, and I don't want to get a hooky copy. I don't think EA still sell it, do they?
I don't think so, but I might have a physical copy.
Oh, don't say that.
I might have a physical copy
from somewhere. Your mate on that Russian storage.
My mate in Russia, he looks after it for me.
Yeah, he's got it in his storage locker.
Yeah. No, It's really weird because he keeps it all over the place. I had to get in bits from all different parts of all his mates around the world.
Oh yeah, I get that groove. Yeah,
yeah. It's a bit of a faff, but you know, it's what you have
file
to do.
storage.
Yeah. In all sense, I do actually have. I think I have got an actual physical copy up on the upstairs, and I don't think Battlefield 2 cares about serial keys.
Are you sure?
I think it's one of those. I'm pretty sure it's one of those games that never bothered to check. Bit like Warcraft 3. Warcraft 3 never cared about
Didn't
CD
it?
keys.
I don't remember that. I know that some games they'd ask you for a key, and if you hit escape, it was like, oh, okay.
The key just made sure the game was valid. That you
wasn't it? It was for online though, wasn't it? Though in some cases.
No. Warcraft 3 initially definitely did not ask you. You could go online, and it doesn't matter. You could have 4 or 5 people all the same CD key because it didn't compare you.
Oh, interesting.
It just checked. It basically was just to make sure it was valid. He didn't care when you're online. I think Warcraft 3. I think what was the other? Warcraft 3 was like that. Age of Empires was like that. The CDQ was basically as a protection, make sure you had a physical copy of it, but it didn't do any checking beyond that.
Sure.
I think when Battle.net got integrated, though, I think that's when it lost that.
Oh,
I'm not remembering this. I think Battle.net sort of made it so you had to they checked the key.
Sure, I'll throw out there as well. Actually, I'm a little bit disappointed that my Steam copy of Quake says my CD key is invalid. So I'm just like wondering, do they even check anymore?
I don't know.
Or does it just let you go straight through? Because it doesn't seem to give a toss. It says, yeah, this key's invalid. I'm like, I'm still playing.
So perhaps they just, you know, I don't those early days. It's fairly easy for them just to patch that out.
Yeah,
because it doesn't do a lot of checking. I mean, I've cracked very old games, but because it literally is just in the old games. It's literally an if statement. Here's the CD key. Run this operation. See if it passes its checksum. If it does, it's valid. Go ahead.
Yeah.
So you could just sort of like modify the executable. Say, you know, this bit here where you say check this bit here, see if it's valid. Just change it to true all the time, and just let you through.
So all right, mate. Yeah, not a problem. It's like cool.
Yeah.
I always knew you were part of those no CD crack guys.
Hey, I only ever cracked my own software.
Sure, they did too, and then they released it to the public.
Yes.
But no, good times though. But I mean, can I just throw out there, really, really, really fun to get into Quake and Unreal Tournament again. I even got my kids into Quake.
Yeah,
it's fantastic, absolutely fantastic. Cheeky little shits.
I do kind of miss those really old school, fast paced, very simple. There's nothing really complicated about UT. It's like there's some guns, you pick them up, you shoot people.
Yep.
You know, there's no character classes, there's no
special abilities. Everything was even.
Yeah, everything. It did come down to your skill.
Yep.
Or in my case, lack of. And
it just
kept, and you kept, but they kept over time. They kept adding all the extra bits and pieces onto it and so forth, and that's what we end up with what we have today. But I still think there would be a market for someone to build a. I think if you built a game like that now, people would think it was a bit lazy.
Did they not remake?
They'd say, "Well,
UT."
Sorry,
I thought they remade UT. I think Epic has got a version of UT available on the store, the new one. Like, the new one. Because I remember a lot of my mates try to play it on Linux, like, a few years back. Like, oh, mate, UT's back, woo! But I never really... I think I might have spent, like, 15 minutes in it, and that was it.
Let's have a quick look. I'm now going on Epic Store. Unreal Tournament. Pre-ops downloads, you Unreal Tournament for free.
See? UT! Woo! Oh, I doubt anyone plays it. Do you remember when Quake 3 Arena became an online subscription?
Quake Live.
Yeah, that's the one.
I never played it.
I did. I loved Quake.
Did it? I did it so because that was one of the early what do you call it? Actually, on live experiences, wasn't it? You know, as in game streaming services or ideas.
I guess no.
It's one of the early ones, wasn't it?
I don't know. Look that up, Ram. Look it up. You're the one with the keyboard skills, son.
Okay.
Game streaming, Quake.
I should do Quake Live.
I heard that like loads of people just bailed from Quake Live when they started making changes to the mechanics.
Yeah.
Okay, all we want is like, a modernized, easy to access Quake 3. Stop changing everything, and then when they start changing everything, like, okay, we're gonna leave.
Yeah, I can understand. Yeah, if people want to play Quake as Quake, they don't want to pay some bars because it's not Quake anymore. That's what people forget. It's like this is the game they want to play.
Well, they did. I mean, they did open source the engine as well, didn't they? And then they made Open Arena. Like Open Arena became a thing. So that was like the open source.
I'm a very cocky when I in my younger days downloading because when they open sourced the original Quake's engine quite early on, actually, fairly early on. And I remember downloading it thinking I was going to learn how the engine works. You just download the actual engine. The actual code is all there for you to see. Of course, I didn't know anything about C++, and I just looked at it like, what? I don't know.
You looked at it like,
yeah, it's like, perhaps I should have learnt the language bit first before I just download the engine.
How does this witchcraft work?
I'll be honest with you, Skazz. Having now fallen into game development, anything to do with graphics and shaders and I don't know how you pronounce quintillions, which is the way you describe an object in 3D space, but using 4 reference points. Right? I still have not got my head around those. I've had to deal with them. I still can't figure out how they work. I definitely ever will. And when it comes to things like graphics and shaders and stuff, that's just magic.
That's all magic. Let's just be honest. Just computers are magic. No one really knows how they work anymore.
Yeah. Graphics and shaders, like I've just accepted the fact that if I need a shader, I'll just buy one off the store. Rather than try and work out how to do it. Because I was like, I don't understand how this works. I tried to because I wanted to do a very special, a fancy effect. And I tried to program a shader in Unity. And I didn't really understand how it worked. I read some tutorials, it seemed to make sense, and I tried to actually program it, and it just like nothing I did actually seemed to do it. It's like no matter what I did, nothing seemed to change.
Oh sure,
it's like is this code actually even running? I'm adding like extra lines of code and nothing's happening. That was really a dark art. So
I've had times like that. And I'm like, how the fuck is this even working? And then somehow, if you're lucky, something changes, the planets align, and then something runs. It might not even do what you want it to, but it's working, so that'll do.
But then there's the inverse, where you're trying to get a bit of code to work. You're trying to get a bit of code to function a certain way, behave a certain way. And no matter what you try to work, then all of a sudden you'll change something and it works. And you look at your code and go, it's working now. I've written it. I don't understand why it's working, though.
Yeah, no, I've had that. I've had that. I'm like, that can't be right. That really can't be. That can't be a thing. What is? Oh, that'll do.
Yeah, it works. I ain't gonna touch it anymore.
Then you put in a comment, just figure it out. I can't help you. Figure it out.
There was somewhere online that you came across a bit of legacy code and some bit of corporate software, and at the top it said there's someone put a comment saying this bit of code works. I've not been able to figure out how. Programmers cannot figure out how it works. And every so often someone tries to refactor it before going back to the original version. Number of times this has been attempted and it equals, and it had like 12 next to it.
Yeah.
As 12 people tried to refactor it, broken it, and then had to go back to the original. So he tried to refactor it, and then he changed number to 13.
Good job. Good job.
It's like, well, no one knows this works. There was a game, an early, I want to say 80s game, like maze game, which like generated a maze. And this is an apocryphal story, I'm not sure how true it is, and this is what the programmer claims. They wanted to write an algorithm that was really small, because they had a lot of space to run in. It was like on a really early computer, like which was really early computer, only a few kilobytes of RAM. But they wanted to make this maze game, so they had not a lot of space to work in. This programmer got drunk one night and worked out how to make the algorithm function. He wrote the algorithm whilst drunk and got it working. Once he was sober, he couldn't figure out how it worked.
Let's be fair, we've had nights like that.
Yeah. So because it's a known fact. Anyone who does anything to IT or particularly programming, or I think if you're playing games, 1 to 2 cans of beer helps you.
It's magic.
It is. After 2 cans of beer, though, your proficiency goes down.
Yeah. Everything goes down after 2 cans. A few things go up, a few things go down, but the things that go up are important.
Do you remember we used to go to the pub and we used to play pool?
Yeah.
And I always got better after I had 2 pints.
Yes, I remember.
And then I'd have 3 pints and I'd go back down again.
It's like, oh, there we go.
There was a sweet spot of slightly pissedness I had to maintain in order to remain good at pool.
Quick! It's Ram's shot and get him either another pint or another glass, depending on if you want him to win.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Good times.
Cool.
Times. But yeah, we've just been playing a bit of UT. I've been having a fucking right old laugh, just going back to the classics. We've all kind of been chatting again about how we wish there were more games like UT coming out in the modern age, but I think you're right. A lot of gamers just wouldn't. I don't think they'd be able to handle old school arena deathmatch shooters.
It feels cheap.
Even in like Halo, as an example, like deathmatch is just a side mode. It's not the entire game. So for like Quake 3 Arena or Unreal Tournament to exist these days would be really, really weird. But then again, I suppose the new COD games are online only, aren't they? Multiplayer only. So, I don't know.
I think if you played one of those now, because it would feel like my first game in Unity. If you played one now, it's on released one now, that's what I think it would feel like, unless it looked like really flashy or special. I think that's what people would feel. It'd feel cheap. I think that's quite an issue. I mean, yeah. I remember I still love the old. One of my favourite games was Timesplitters.
Yeah.
And what I loved about that was the multiplayer modes of how much customization you had. So you could pick for your weapon. You could pick different weapon sets for the map. So there'd be drop points on the map numbered 1 to 5. And you could pick what weapons. Not only could you pick weapon set, which is so what appeared at each drop point, you could make your own custom one. So you could have like number 1, which is like the most common drop. You could have that as rocket launchers. Fully custom. You could customize all the drops. You could make custom bot sets of which bots appear, and you customize their skill levels. You could set handicaps for the players. So you could like say, okay, when I used to play, I got really good at Timesplitters, so I had a handicap set up so that I used to put my handicap to it. So basically, my handicap was set really high, so if I got hit, I'd just die.
Yeah.
Whereas my people I was playing against, I put the handicap really low. So basically, it took like 4 or 5 hits to kill them. So I basically pushed it into their favour. And so it meant that if you're playing someone who wasn't as good as you, they could still have fun because you had game an advantage.
Yeah.
All these little things, so much customization you could make to the levels. It was insane. And it gradually got stripped down later versions, but it's like, this is just amazing. This is just so much fun.
Speaking of Timesplitters, actually, I think Homefront? No, but what's that game where you're taking on the Koreans?
That was Homefront.
Homefront, the second one, Homefront Revolution? The one that's basically Far Cry 3 but better. Yeah. So.
I think yeah. I think it was Homefront the Revolution was the second one.
Yeah, I think that one, in one of the levels, I think you can actually play Timesplitters in it.
Really?
Yeah, like it's in that game. It's embedded in like an arcade machine or whatever.
It's bizarre because Timesplitters is owned by it was owned by Eidos,
which would mean it's now Square Enix, isn't it?
Yeah, but Far Cry is owned by Eidos. So and Homefront was made by Ubisoft. So that's where they got the license.
Let's have a look, shall we? I will do some typing the now.
Good. I remember Timesplitters. Timesplitters 1 was really good. Timesplitters 2 was like Timesplitters 1 but better. They really went for it, made it a lot better. Timesplitters 3, though.
Timesplitters 2 full PC port hidden inside Homefront: The Revolution.
Wow.
Easter egg 2016, but it turns out that there has been an unlock code found to make the game fully playable.
Oh wow.
Reported by Eurogamer 1 day ago, funnily enough.
I think how crazy it is that somebody had to. I mean, it's wonderful. They had to port that game. They port a PlayStation 2 game over to PC because Timesplitters never came out on the PC. They had to port it over just to have as a little arcade game in Homefront. That's insane.
Let's see.
What they'd have to do for that?
Timesplitters 2 has a cameo scene in Homefront's retail version. 2 story levels playable on an in-game arcade cabinet. Was originally intended to be fully playable via an unlock code that was never publicly released. They've now gone and found the unlock code, and apparently now you can play. That isn't quite all. Found Dark Souls data miner. Lance McDonald later posted that he'd originally planned to try and reverse engineer some of Homefront's arcade cabinet menus and input systems, and found some 6 hours into the game. Got their first discovering a bevy of controller-specific unlock codes as seen above. So there you go. If you still have a copy of Homefront 2: The Revolution to hand, you now have the perfect excuse to fire it up again, although obviously a quicker way to play Timesplitters 2, if you still have a copy of that, would just be to play Timesplitters 2. So basically, you play Homefront: The Revolution, you get to that arcade machine, you input this code, and you've got a fully playable version of Timesplitters 2.
That's insane.
Yeah.
They actually went to hassle porting the entire game over.
Mm-hmm.
The amount of work involved. Because it's PlayStation 2, so it's not even the same hardware-based switch over.
Timesplitters 2's 4K port has been locked inside the Homefront sequel for years. Fans find missing cheat code unlocking full game after 5-year search.
That is ridiculous. I'm absolutely amazed.
So there you go. Now you got a reason to play Homefront: The Revolution.
I'll never get past that bit. I just can't. It's just incredible that a games company sat and go, "Hey, should I put a bit of time as a bit of laugh? Should I put a time split level on this?" Yeah. Well, fuck it. We'll just port the entire game over.
Mm-hmm. It's fantastic.
Why would you go to all the work of porting the entire game over and then never release it?
Like I say, they plan to. They just never dump the code. They never drop the code onto the internet.
That is that has blown me away completely. That it just doesn't. I just can't see the logic.
Sometimes sometimes the people just go, "Mate, wouldn't it be a laugh?" And they go, "Yeah," and then
that's one hell of a laugh. It's a completely different. That's not a. I mean, it's not an impossible task, but no, it's obviously not.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of work, but
it's a lot of work for what's basically an Easter egg.
Yeah, but it's a fucking cool Easter egg. So people people know about it. They're like, "Oh shit, that's rad!" And I just think it's funny that we just started talking about UT, and it was only literally yesterday that they found the unlock code.
Because the next thing that'll be is someone will find a way to strip that game out of it. Because that game must be on its own engine. All the assets must be there. Someone can fucking pull Timesplitters 2 out of Homefront and well, I don't know if they wouldn't probably be able to release it, but they could pull it out.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. You have absolutely blown my mind, Skazz.
There you go. But like I said, that was probably, that was like the last time I played Timesplitters 2, when I last played Homefront 2.
I love Timesplitters 2.
Yeah, you don't really see games like that now.
Timesplitters 3 was when actually, no, Free Radical got bought by EA at one point.
Yeah, I didn't actually look to see who...
Free Radical got bought by EA. Free Radical made it, and when they got Timesplitters 3, they basically must have got the word from EA to make it a little bit more... Because Timesplitters was a very actually, like we're saying, very old-fashioned style game. It's run and gun, shooty. It's not, characters have really animation really silly and over the top and so forth. Timesplitters 3, though, they started adding in blood and gore and all that sort of stuff into it, which all took away the charm.
Yeah.
It's like, well, you make it like every other game then. That's just not fun anymore. So I wasn't keen on. I played Timesplitters 3. I was not happy with it.
Oh, hang on, so one second. So after release, Easter eggs at various in-game arcade cabinets were found to let the player play through 2 levels of Timesplitters 2, a 2002 game developed by Free Radical Design, which eventually became owned by Deep Silver after the closure of Crytek UK.
Yes, because Free Radical at one point. No, you're right. Free Radical. They one point. I think Free Radical ended up being part of EA because at one point Crytek was part of EA because Crysis was published by EA, I believe.
Yes.
And then I think when Crytek split off from EA, Free Radical became one of their studios in the UK. Crytek UK.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's how they've moved around. But still, it's bizarre that ended up in a bloody Ubisoft game.
What it says here is publishers Deep Silver.
What, Homefront?
The Homefront, the Revolution.
Deep Silver. Oh, cool. All right. Wow. Interesting.
But yeah, so they got Timesplitters 2 after they got ownership of the studio. And it says here, Matt Phillips revealed he had included the whole of Timesplitters 2 at 4K resolution within Homefront, although he had misplaced the code required to activate it. After announcing this, shortly after announcing this, a previous associate was able to provide the required code. So there you go. That's how it came to be.
Wow. Well, wowee.
Yeah.
Now I need to find someone who's got a save file for the arcade bit of Homefront, so I don't have to play through the first 6 hours and get straight to Timesplitters.
Sure. I mean, I think that game's actually pretty good. I mean, to me, because it had a lot of the whole kind of running around, looking at a map, going, a lot of the UI interface, like all the elements, a lot of it just reminded me so much of Far Cry. Because I think it was about the same time that I had my stealth shotgun moment in Far Cry 3.
Oh, your favourite stealth shotgun.
Yeah. Because you've got to be stealthy to take out them bases properly. I was like, nah. The game doesn't require you to be that OP. So, as I found quite recently that a lot of games just don't. If you're quick enough, the games are just... Because AI is generally quite thick. So as long as you move fast enough and shoot enough...
They said they found that in... apparently in the original... keeping on the theme of Crisis... the AI and that got because the AI is Crisis AI was considered very smart, but it was smart if you played smart.
If you gave it enough time to think.
If you ran around like an arcade shooter, it got confused because it wasn't expecting you to behave like that. So it got all confused, and because apparently if you ran around, like the AI would sort of look at you and try and take, and you could stand in front of you and just go and try and take cover. Because that's what you'd expect it need to do.
That's fantastic. That is absolutely fantastic. You derp it out by playing Quake 3.
Yeah. I think other more title games get away with it, just made the AI really accurate.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, that's been my groove. Just kind of dicking around with UT, going back to the classic days of arena shooters. I mean, a lot of people seem to forget that. Like, esports was a thing. Like, it wasn't really called... I don't think it was really called esports back then. Was it back when UT was a thing? Like, people used to play UT professionally. Oh, John Wendell.
Fatality. Yeah.
Fucking... Oh, John Fatality fucking Wendell. That's what I said to people. Like, well, fucking no one was a professional gamer back then. I was like, have you ever seen a motherboard from, like, ASRock with Fatality written on it?
Or Sound Blaster. He used to raise a Sound Blaster cars, didn't he?
Yeah, I was just like, dude, that's John Wendell. Like, the dude was fucking loaded, and he was a professional UT 2003 player, wasn't he?
Yeah.
So for all you,
I thought he was Quake.
He played UT 2003 as well. He did. He has played a lot of Quake, but I used to watch him play UT.
Yeah, I think esports was around. I think what probably put esports not as much on the map in this country.
StarCraft in Korea.
Yeah, that's what I think.
They had their own TV fucking network for it.
Yeah,
like cheating in esports in Korea is a fucking arrestable offence.
Yeah, and I think what then brought esports more to the forefront over here is probably more the MOBA games like League of Legends.
Yeah, League and Dota, and
that's what sort of brought it to the forefront, because I think they now broadcast Dota games on ESPN.
Oh mate, everything's broadcast on ESPN.
Yeah. But yeah, it's incredible, really. That's sort of like, and apparently the esports apparently done quite well this year.
Well, I think Street Fighter League, Capcom Cup, I think they put that on TV now as well, which is fucking mental. I think even 1 year, like years ago, I think one of the Evos got put on TV. I could be completely wrong there, but I was like, the fuck? You always think these people were nerds, and now they're celebrities.
Yeah.
Like lugging around their big ass CRTs and their big ass PCs just so they can fucking play some UT. And it's like, nah, mate, I've got a sponsorship from Asus. I've got this really great fucking gaming laptop, mate. It fits in my backpack.
Yeah.
Like,
look at my cool Alienware rig.
Yeah, you think to yourself, back in my day, mate, you had to be fucking built like Arnold Schwarzenegger to be a professional
I tell you
gamer.
what. Feel sorry for the poor bastard who got the sponsorship by Acer. He'd never make it past the first round before it overheated.
Yeah, mate, fucking, what happened, mate? Oh, my laptop exploded.
No, actually, since there was a smoke coming from his laptop. No, the laptop didn't explode. It's an Acer. It's absolutely perfect. Acer are a really good brand laptop, he says, smiling towards the camera.
Fucking the magic smoke's coming out of the back.
That's dust from my fingers. No, I was killed, and someone unplugged me. Someone unplugged me and damaged the battery. That's what happened. It wasn't the laptop.
As he gets angry and table flips on, they can't look at the laptop.
Yeah, Acer, don't take the money away. Keep the money coming, Acer, please.
Don't Acer have a big brand now for their Predator, isn't it? Acer Predator? For their gaming stuff?
If I see the word Acer, I would just go, nope.
Well, see, well, that's the funny thing. Because, like I say, a lot of the companies that we used to kind of QQ about and go, duh, that's shit, right? They actually have gaming brands now. Like, obviously, Razer's a thing. Asus have ROG. I think, fucking Lenovo. They've got one. Fucking
really?
business boy fucking Lenovo.
That's like Lexus making a hot hatchback for boy racing.
That's what I mean. It's like, what? It's like, could you imagine? Like, no, just imagine a Rolls hot hatch.
Yeah, this is the Rolls Royce hot hatch. You know,
and you're like, what?
It's like the postage stamp. It's like, that's hilarious. That's brilliant.
But like, it's actually a thing. I was like, what the fuck? Like, gaming brands are everywhere. And then you start seeing all these companies start merging together. I'm like, hang on a minute, why do I? What? Like, I got shown a microphone the other day. I said, oh yeah, if you want to control this microphone, you have to download like some Corsair software or something. I'm like, what? When did they get bought by Corsair? I'm like, oh yeah, like, XYZ time ago. I was like, what the fuck? When did all these like other companies start getting like absorbed into gaming companies or hardware, like other hardware companies? Like, oh yeah, but we've got the ultimate streaming rig. It's like, oh, have you? Fantastic. I remember back in my day, son, you couldn't stream that shit because there weren't a computer on the planet fast enough. You need like 10 computers.
Wave your stick at them, Skazz. Wave your stick at them.
Fucking stupid kids. Back in my day.
Back in my day, we had to hand crank our PCs.
You fucking damn right we did. You could fucking cook your breakfast on some of those things, I'm telling you.
Especially if it's an Acer.
Fuck, mate, you couldn't even turn that damn thing on if it was an Acer. Like, if you wanted to have a mini fire briefly pretend you're a caveman, get an Acer.
Imagine you're the guy who goes to, like, some WoW PvP tournament, but you're sponsored by Apple.
Oh, mate,
you get a mouse with one button.
Unlucky, mate. So, oh. Well, going back to this, Macs can't play games. They used to be able to play games. Now they can't play games. Shove it up your ass. True story.
Yeah. To be fair, I think the average person who buys a MacBook really isn't that bothered by gaming.
Well, no, but it's the idea that games companies still port games to Mac. Oh, yeah, we're going to put it on Mac, but we ain't going to put it on Linux. And then people actually laugh. Like, why would you port it to Linux? It's like, because at least Linux users have fucking decent hardware, you twat. Like, how many oh yeah, but Apple's got a bigger percentage of the market. Yes, and how many percentage of that fucking market share have actually got decent graphics cards in them?
Or more importantly, how many of those Apple computers actually just sit in an office somewhere, rendering websites? Or Photoshop. I think Mac is still generally a commercial product rather than a home user product.
Oh, I don't know. People are really dumb these days. Oh, mate, I need to buy the Mac Pro trash can or whatever. The cheese grater, the new one. The new cheese grater, not the big old cheese grater.
I reckon if you could get a percentage of how many Macs are owned, as in.
No, I imagine that probably is the case. It's all a lot professional, but I do know people out there who would just go out and buy the top end Mac Pro just because it's an Apple. Like they will have it in their house. Go, I've got the Mac Pro, and like jizz all over it every day and lick the screen and
is that how you turn it on?
Yes. Well, so you can't actually sacrifice a child to it, so you sacrifice preborn to it.
Is that the evolution of the little touch keypad at the top of the thing?
Yes.
Yeah. They're going back, because didn't they say they're going to put a CD drive back in their MacBooks now? Or something. I'm sure the guys said they're going to get rid of the little touch, but they're going to get rid of that. And they're going to put something back in. Might be a headphone jack or something like that, so we go back into their laptops.
Ports?
Could be ports, yeah. We're actually going to give
a power supply that doesn't shit the bed.
We're going to let you have external functionality again.
Have you seen that? Some of the Macs that only have those USB C dongles literally crap the bed if you use a third-party dongle.
I can believe it because what's his face? I think it's on ED-Blog dismantled one of the Apple power supplies. The amount of hardware in one of those is insane. It's got microprocessors in it.
That's fucking why?
It's like, well, it's only got to rectify a power supply. It's only got to rectify DC voltage.
It's mining Bitcoin. It's just on your fucking network.
Probably. And yeah, he's like, oh, what's all this? It's like all this hardware and stuff. And it's got. I mean, some of it was actually some of it did have a purpose. It was like overcome protection, all this sort of stuff. But it's like you could put that on the board.
Yeah, of course they could. But they'd like to justify, charging you a small fortune for shit.
Indeed.
Can I tell you? Like I used to really like Apple back in the day. Because you buy a laptop off them and they'd fucking last forever.
My MacBook Pro from 2005 still boots. I booted up the other day to see if it's still working. It still works.
Jesus Christ! I was going to say actually probably my PowerBook G4.
Yeah,
that still runs. I think my PowerBook G3 would still run as well if I still had a power supply for it. But that exploded.
Yeah.
Apple sparking yo-yo, fantastic. But look, I remember I had my Pismo G3.
Oh, I've just noticed Middlemeister says message saying all right, and I've got messages. Sorry, I've got messages. I've had messages through Twitch because I had Twitch tab open. I've missed them all. So King Europe says, "Hey guys, Strongbow Gram. Yes, I am on Strongbow this evening.
Again,
It's on offer. Must have planned to get a PC port cancelled. Talking about Timesplitters. Probably put that didn't make production ready, but wasn't going to call the fun fix. The first Homefront was pretty good. Yeah, there's this one called Jinx in the UK, but not sure anyone watches it. I've never heard of it. Acer Predator.
Okay,
they're
cool.
equivalent to ROG. Thank you, King Europe. I'm sorry, I completely had your thing switched off, so I never saw you. And evening Middlemeister.
Good times, but yeah, fuck it. Stuff used to be good back in the day. Now it sucks because I'm an old man. But yeah, what have you been playing, Ram? Fuck it. We've been going on for like about a million years about UT in the old days. Being buffed by lifting your monitor.
Well, Skazz, this week I had been reading for Strongbow, and Steam popped up and say, "Hey, Midweek Madness, Sims 4 was on offer for like £5."
No. Is that with or without DLC?
That's the deluxe version is £5. Not without any. So not quite the base version, but with basically nothing else in it. So I did buy a DLC. I just bought the deluxe version for £5. The base version was like £4, so I was like, oh, I'll spend an extra 80.
You'd had a few to drink. How did it go?
Well, so what I thought I was going to do, I thought,
did you become a serial killer?
No. I answered the age-old question. What would happen if me, you, and Zaber lived in a house together?
Oh, for fuck's sake, really?
Yes. I'll upload you the photo.
Is it a shit heap? Is it a trash heap?
Pretty much. No, it's just weird because I tried to base it on what I thought people were like.
And thanks, mate. We're all fucking maniacs.
Yeah, well, Skazz, you keep setting the house on fire.
Yeah, boy.
You keep every time you cook something, you burn it, and everybody doesn't like your cooking.
Would you believe I can actually cook?
Yeah, and then this is where it gets worse, though. You cook something, you put it on the side, and then you don't eat it, and then you go cook something else.
Yeah, sounds
so
about
we
right.
end up with bowls all on the side. It's like,
Ram just starts to get really angry.
yeah, because I'm trying to clear up all your mess again. Or I make a mistake and eat the wrong thing, and eat your spoiled food and get myself food poisoning. Zaber keeps working out. Every sort of like chance he gets, he's like doing press ups.
Wow, that's not Zaber at all.
Well, you see, I was trying. You see, I will admit, I spent. You could tell I did myself first. I don't know if you've seen the photo yet. You can see
I just saw it.
Yeah, you can see I did myself the most. I spent a lot of time.
I bet you did.
Yeah, it's getting sort of right because I had a photo reference handy, whereas you had to do from memory.
Hang on. Let's see if I can break the stream. Hang on. Here's Ram's porn. Do you want to add this? Yes. There you go. There.
Okay, have you zoomed it in so we can see the actual?
Oh no! Hang on. Can we zoom in without breaking everything? There we go. There you go. Look at that.
So question is, can you tell who's who? But I got your baseball cap in. I got your long hair in.
But long hair? I'm gone bald.
Yeah, but you look like you've got long hair. And I've got your gaming t-shirt on.
Oh, thanks, man.
I've got Zaber sort of like... I couldn't
find Zaber stood there being Danish, flexing and that all the time.
Hey! I couldn't find a face that quite matched Zaber in the pre-lighted faces. I was trying to find... He's got quite a long face, Zaber. Quite a long, pointy face. And I couldn't find one that matched. That was the best I could come up with. So yeah, you keep saying so far. So now, one thing I have noticed...
Yes.
Which I dislike about it is that you start with too much money.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, we've got a house, and we still have money in the bank. It's a nice house, a bigger size. We've got a massive living room / diner / kitchenette, which you keep saying on fire.
Yes.
We've got a bedroom each with not posh furniture, but it's like a nice, decent sized bedroom each.
So what you're saying is we've got a desk, a PC, and like a blanket.
Well, no. Initially, in the bedrooms, because I was trying to be a little bit cautious. You had a bed.
A bed?
And
what do you use that for? I don't sleep.
You do in this one. You sleep loads in this one,
mate. That character is as far away from me as possible. I love it.
Yeah, I did, but I had to give you all like what you wanted, sort of like traits. So I gave you guys that you say both the creative trait, like you want like musically creative.
Sure.
So you wanted to like create music. I also gave you the geek trait.
Oh, bless you.
So you like geeky stuff.
So I know how to type.
Yeah, the type. I gave myself the trait that means I like sort of program computers. So like programming stuff. Well, that's more me, sort of the programming stuff. I also did give myself the genius trait, but that was probably a bit presumptuous.
Oh, you're one of the smartest people I know, Ram.
But I know. But I also give myself the lower trait. The trouble is, I keep getting fed up because you guys keep watching TV, and I keep coming seeing you watch TV like, oh, this is shit, and I keep wandering off. I'm gonna go read a book in my room. Keep wandering off. So I've been talking about now career-wise. Now, one other thing I didn't like, also I didn't dislike, was the fact that if you want to get a job in the old Sims, you'd go find the newspaper, you'd open it up, and you might have a choice of like 2 to like 1 job to pick, and it was randomized.
Yeah,
and you had to pick it or like wait a day and try again. This game is like you open up and like you just pick whatever you want straight away. It's like, oh, that's a bit boring.
Yeah, you pick a tree, don't you? Because they give you traits. I know they did in Sims 3. I don't know about 4 because I never played 4, I don't think. But they give you a series of traits that you can work up to get like an ultimate thing. Like you pick a tree at the start.
Yeah.
And then that will advance based on what you do in your job. So like if you're a scientist, you can make the ambrosia of life to keep Sims alive forever on that.
Yeah, so I was like, oh, this is a bit boring. So I got a D20, and I rolled for him.
Oh, God. You fucking rolled for him. Oh, right, go on.
So guess how this
Which
works.
one of us is a copper, and which one of us is a porn star?
Neither. I end up in retail.
Yeah.
Okay, so
good job.
Right, okay, yeah, okay. You're tech support.
Fuck yeah, worst job on the planet.
Yeah. You're having to sit there. You're having to do tech support. You're having to sit there. You're going to do tech support, and you'll do your first job level was a virtual assistant.
I don't know why my head just went, hey, I became Clippy. Woo!
Yeah. Zaber is an entertainer.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, so he keeps doing. He's now an open mic speaker.
He's a stand-up comedian.
Yes.
Oh, mate.
So yeah, so that's.
I'd say those are actually quite accurate, to be fair, because I spend a lot of my time doing tech support. You do work in retail, and Zaber is actually an entertainer. So
I thought it worked out quite well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, now I gave you to both. You both have got a guitar.
Oh bless! A
so
guitar.
You can practice a guitar. No, you got one each.
Oh bless!
In your room, so you can play. It's a cheap one. I've got a PC to do practice my programming on and practice it and playing games on. And and it turns out we got on quite well as a group.
Oh, I don't know if I believe that.
I might add Middlemeister into it at some point. Add him as a
my character starts screaming at him that he's wrong.
Yeah, add Barge and have the whole gang there.
Oh mate, that would be murder. That'd be fantastic.
Yeah. Oh, and I want to know why. I think so. I've only played it for a few hours, but I'm sort of like it's usual. It's that sort of like, I'll just do this. I'll just do that sort of attitude you get at The Sims, isn't it?
Yeah.
But there are some things I think you guys had this issue in the first game. You've not fixed it, so I really want to program in. If a sim thinks, I want some food. If another sim is already halfway through cooking a meal, you don't make food.
Just wait.
Yeah, wait. But no, they're like, I'm hungry. I know Skazz is going to set fire to the house again. He's praying for a meal. But I fancy making some egg on toast. So I'm going to go make some egg on toast while Skazz is trying to, set the house on fire.
Mate, clearly not good enough, because if it was actually me, I'd have set the house on fire by now.
Yeah. I did break the toilet.
Yeah.
That wasn't much, which I do in real life as well. You did.
Mother-fucker. All right.
Well, you see, me and Zaber had work.
Mate, that's fine, because I'm experienced in that kind of thing.
We had to go to work. You had like an extra couple hours to go to work, so it made sense for you to repair it. Check, you played a long time, though. I was very disappointed in you.
I apologise.
Yeah. So, but yeah, Zaber sort of like, if just left to his own devices, Zaber just likes doing push-ups,
as he does,
and running, and sit-ups and all sorts. I like playing. Zaber also likes playing chess a lot. So he often goes off play chess.
I just want to throw out there, your character of Zaber does a lot of the things that I do in real life.
Yeah, well, I see. I try, because I know Zaber used to play golf, so I put.
He does. He's a professional golfist.
So I put that in there because I thought that sort of makes sense, but it just made him to this ultra buff athlete.
So golf.
Well, I put sporty
He's got
in there.
Walk 15 feet, whack a ball, and get in a little go-kart.
Well, you see, that's what I thought. I thought I'd put that in there.
Get his butler to go and find it for him.
Yeah. I mean, I thought I gave you sort of geek traits and all this sort of stuff. I thought, that's all right. You'll sort of figure that out. You'll do stuff. But yeah, you just like setting the house on fire.
Yeah, pyro.
So
just a random note, just a little blast from the past. Do you remember that time when we almost got a house in Long Stratton together?
Yes. Yes. And we got rejected because we were students.
Yeah. That'd have been ideal, mate.
We would have killed each other. It would have been. Well, now we know what would have happened.
Yeah. I'd have burnt down the house.
Yeah.
One of us would have randomly started doing push-ups, although none of the people in that house at the time would have even dreamed of doing push-ups.
I hate everybody because I just go hide off in my room by myself, which is actually fairly accurate.
Yeah, I was going to say that's why we're doing this remotely. It's got nothing to do with the Rona.
No. Yeah, I just go off and just go off into my room and go, I'm just going to read a book now. And I got on a special award because I didn't have any social interaction for 24 hours.
Wow, there's an award for that now?
Yeah, I got it in The Sims 4. That is not.
Dude, I was going to say, when do I get my award, man?
Yeah. Well, say if it was in real life, I'd get an award every day virtually.
No, you'd have an entire wall of them.
Yeah. So you please know, I'm no longer a shelf stacker. I'm now a floor colleague. So you'll be pleased to know that.
Excellent.
You've advanced. You're now you're doing some like extra layer of tech support. So it's all good, man. It's all good. I'm very impressed with you all. I'm very impressed how we're not killing each other.
Yeah, I mean, let's be fair then. That's not super realistic then, is it?
No, it's not. It's not. I mean, I've only been playing like in game wise. It's not even like been a week yet. So obviously we're still in the honeymoon period.
Oh, mate, but you know I love you all.
Yeah, yeah. Which it helps with all our own individual rooms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna have to do that, Ram. We're gonna have to buy a house or an office. Move Zaber over here.
Yeah, get Zaber over here. Well, if one of us wins the millions, we can buy an office, buy a big house. We can create like they saw the Playboy Mansion. We can have the Rand Nerds Mansion.
That'd be fantastic.
But instead of like bunny girls, we have old PCs sat around everywhere and games consoles.
What more do you want? Fucking empty like empty packets of Watsits and Doritos.
Yeah. So, the question is, which one of us is going to turn into the game equivalent of Hugh Hefner? To be fair, what I know about Hugh Hefner, well, most of us are already nearly there anyway. To be fair,
what creepy old men.
Yeah, and like people and weirdos who just like being all by themselves.
That's about right.
No, who was that? What was that guy who shot himself in top of that tower? It's like tower in Vegas. Who made that plane and then he shot himself in a tower and he wouldn't he wouldn't ever leave. Oh, what was his name? Someone chat, help me out here. What was he? He made the play that landed on water, and it wasn't very good. And he owned a casino. I think he owned a casino, and Mr. House in New York Fallout New Vegas was based on him. Oh, what was he? Not who?
Mate, if this was an episode of Countdown, you'd be losing right now.
Yeah, they don't do this on Countdown, do they? Don't go on Countdown and go, who was that guy? Who was he?
This is more of a Who Wants to Be a Millionaire kind of thing. Can I phone a friend? Hey, Chet. Who was that guy that locked himself away in Vegas? That turns out that's a common thing.
I'm trying to find out. Las Vegas.
It was Hugh Hefner. That was Middlemeister. That's why he's been away from the podcast for so long.
Who shuts himself in building. Oh, this is going to really annoy me. No, right. Managed himself in building. All I'm getting is police reports. Reclusive billionaire. Maybe if I said reclusive billionaire. Las Vegas.
So there aren't many reclusive billionaires on the planet, are there?
Howard Hughes, that's him. Howard Hughes.
There you go. Good job.
He was a reclusive guy who basically spent his entire life hidden in the top building. I thought that's basically us. So we're nearly there.
We're nearly there.
Mate,
wait, how old are my children now? Look, what, 12, 11, 12, going on that way? All right, so when they turn 18, I can do that. I can live the dream.
Yeah. Get yourself like some sort of little lift system so that when the Just Eat guy arrives, you just put it on the sort of platform and takes it up to you.
Yeah, that's it. I'll just hang a fishing rod outside just so I can look really like, I'll be sat up there with my little fly fishing hat on. I'll just reel it up. What are you doing?
Yeah.
I'm fishing for tea. Off the top of a skyscraper.
You can see how I got Hugh Hefner and Howard Hughes confused because they got very similar names.
Sure. I'll give you that. I'll be
honest, guys, for a very long time, I thought they were the same person. I thought...
Aeroplanes that land on water and bunny girls. Yeah, boy, same thing. Airplane that lands on water and big old titties. I can see where you got those confused.
You can see my logic. They both have double H names, Howard Hughes and Hugh Hefner. They've both got names that vaguely sound similar. You've got Howard Hughes and Hugh Hefner. I mean, come on.
That must be best friends.
Hughes. Come on. They're both are billionaires, except I sort of added together where I thought, like, this guy,
Howard Hugh Hefner.
I thought that the guy who owned Playboy ran Playboy and so forth. They went a bit mad and shot himself into a building, and then he died. And I got really confused when I found out the Playboy guy was still alive.
Random question:
really threw me.
Is Playboy magazine still a thing? I don't. It isn't, is it?
The guy who, because Howard Hughes is
fucking Howard Hughes. We've just cleared this, Ram.
He's now dead.
Oh, did his bathrobe survive, or his little smoking jacket, or whatever it was?
I know when you had to when
you had to go to the mansion, you had to wear one. Did you?
When he sold his mansion at the end, he had a requirement was that he'd still be able to live there.
Oh bless.
Yeah, it's currently still going, although it's only quarterly published. It was monthly from 1933 to 2016, then bi-monthly 2017 to 2018, and that's quarterly.
So does that mean it's phone book size now, or is it like does it just contain a web link?
Yeah.
You get a pamphlet with a web link in it. Pornhub.
Let's be honest, I'm surprised. Impressive that it's still going on. But anyway, you'd only get it for the articles anyway.
Yeah, of course. That assumes that I can read.
Oh, it's ended full frontal nudity.
Eh?
Playboy announced that starting from March decision, the magazine will no longer feature full frontal nudity.
Okay.
The Playboy CEO Scott Flanders acknowledged magazine's inability to compete with free available instant pornography and nudity.
Wow. How brutal is that?
Well, yeah, but why would you pay for a magazine when you just go on...
This is the trick. Playboy, right, got outdone by standard-ass street... I'm going to sound really nasty now. Standard-ass street whores. Like, holy shit, people with their smartphones.
Well... I mean,
if you can make your money doing it, go for it. I'm not going
to besmirch Playboy's. I don't know much about the bunnies, but I suspect
they're all PhDs, mate. What are you talking about?
All of them have. I'm sure. And that's a very generic, rude thing I've just said. There, I'm going to stop myself.
It's going to be really funny if it turns out you're the one that gets the flack and not me.
Yeah.
Because I spoke the truth.
They hated, Ran Jesus because he spoke the truth about the Playboy bunnies.
Look, it's true though. At the end, I just think it's really funny that literally a lassie with a smartphone or a nasty cunt dude with a smartphone has managed to outdo Playboy.
Well, it's quite easy to do something when you do it for free, isn't it?
That's fantastic. That is fantastic. Bedroom, like just fucking everyday ass housewife porn stars have outdone Playboy.
Well, with the likes of OnlyFans coming around.
Don't get me started on that, mate. Don't.
Have you seen the website OnlyFans?
I know of OnlyFans, and I know a few people on OnlyFans. I'll tell you now, I would not give them money.
I think this is the...
Have you gone to the wrong one? You got to OnlyFans South Korea?
No, I'm now trying to...
Or you sat on Playboy.com going, hey, look at these articles.
This is the true dirty site you want to see.
Hang on. See if I can... Let's have a look. Is it .org?
Just click on it. Just trust me.
Oh, that is fucking fantastic. Oh, mate. That fucking industrial? Hot as fuck, dude. Well, not as cool, but... That is sexy.
I know. Look at that poor chap there.
Yes, dude. Look at that guy stuffing his fucking arm through that big ass hole.
Yeah.
Like he is literally about to stick his head in there.
If you go up a little bit high, you'll see someone shoving their head through one.
I know, that's what I mean. That's insane.
Yeah. Oh.
It's like he's sticking his head up there and someone else is about to get hammered, mate.
Yeah. Oh, look at this one. This thing blows. Look at that one. I shall share this into the chat for everybody to enjoy.
I think we're too childish for the internet, Ram. This is a serious place. I'm just saying, mate. It's a serious place. People like us have no place here anymore. Fuck off, internet Jesus. All right. Dude, please, seriously, see if we can get internetjesus.com.
Let's see if it's a thing.
I bet I can't, but...
internetjesus.com.
I will happily go to hell to own that domain.
Oh, it's not coming back with anything.
Can I have the Internet Jesus porn domain?
You're not meant to be doing that sort of thing.
No, I know. Why?
Have a look at.
No, why?
You know why.
No, I don't. Why?
You're meant to be training.
Because of that. No, you're right. Actually, I know.
Well, good news is...
I thought he was going to actually say it, and I'm glad you didn't now, because people are going to go, what? I'm an internet porn star.
Internet Jesus. The Internet Jesus is available.
Who are?
InternetJesus.co.uk is available.
Ram, we're going to have to get one.
CyberspaceJesus.co.uk is available.
A cybering Jesus. Now, that sounds wrong.
Dear. Dear, oh dear. I
we got a bit sidetracked there.
Skazz, I just love the fact that we've been on now for an hour and 10 minutes and we have not discussed anything of any substantial merit at all.
That's fantastic. We mentioned how UT was great and how OnlyFans... Fuck, man. That is a dirty ass site.
It is a dirty ass site.
I will throw out there, honestly, my porn selection is a lot more hardcore. It's a lot more industrial. Alright? Kawasaki Heavy Industries. Make some sexy ass fucking tail there. Fucking Honda.
Well, there you go. There's my preferred full porn site. There you go.
Let's have a look. What kind of smut are you into? This could be great. Hang on. Damn, dude! I ain't clicking that. Like, I'm crazy. I ain't clicking that. Although that doesn't surprise me. That doesn't surprise me at all. Dirty bastard.
I know.
I'm curious to see how your gamer's house goes. Will I set fire to it by the end of the week?
I'm going to keep it up. I might add in Middlemeister and I might add in Bard.
Fuck, man, that'd be
just
murder.
sort of like just sort of
serial killer house.
Well, I've got to give somebody evil trait, and I know exactly which person I'm going to give it to.
Well, it's definitely Middlemeister.
yeah, doesn't play games. Oh, incidentally,
yeah.
As we're just rambling this evening,
you've just set up an OnlyFans page.
Disco Elysium update.
All right.
Okay.
You won.
I won. Yes. You know, I said Disco Elysium was getting there's a version coming up for the PS4, which is going to have all full voice acting.
Was it PS4 or PS5?
Well, PS4 and 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was the voice actor.
They're going to release all the voice acting. They voiced out the entire game, and they added a few extra bits and pieces in. Well, that got released this week. Or last week, actually. And what they did as well, anyone who owned the PC version, they gave you the free upgrade to it.
Oh, fantastic. There you go.
And it even worked with existing saves. So you've
gone back and started replaying some of your favourite moments.
I didn't know that, but I was able to just go back into the game to finish it off. And everything was voice acted. It's all updated. It's all voice acted. It was lovely. It was wonderful.
So what you're saying is you no longer have to read.
No, it's good. And the voice acting to be fair thing to say about the voice acting is it's variable.
Mate, it was my first time, all right?
But some of it is pretty darn good. And I finished it I finished it on was it Bank Holiday this week or was it last week Bank Holiday?
Oh.
Last week, wasn't it?
Yes.
What's
Maybe.
this week? I can't remember.
I don't even know Saturday something of a month. 20
this week, because it was Good Friday last end of last week.
Was it?
Yeah. Is this Monday this week? Yeah.
I don't know. That was a long time ago.
I finished Disco Elysium this week.
Yeah. How was it?
I loved it all the way to the end. I finished on day 6.
Okay.
So they said most people on the first one finished on day 7. I finished on day 6.
So you advanced.
I was quicker than other people, as has always been the case.
Wow.
And I absolutely loved it all the way through to the end. I was amazed at how long it took, because I thought I was getting towards the end part. I felt I was getting towards the end part. So I started playing at 10:30, like on Bank Holiday Monday, and I think I actually got to the final segment. There's distinct moments where you go to the final segment, and the sort of character doesn't come out outright and say, "This is the final segment. If you go here, you can't come back and finish everything else of it." But he just say, perhaps we should look at these bits of pieces first before we go and do this, to try and give you warning of this is a point of no return you're about to go on.
Yeah.
There's actually 2 points of no return. One point of no return basically triggers some other event to happen in the game that change dramatically what characters are available to speak to and so forth. The second point of no return, basically, it's the end part of the game. So I went to this sort of final section. I think I went there about 4:30, probably sort of 5 o'clock time in the afternoon. I actually finished the game, because it's not a very big section. I actually finished the game about 8:30, 3.5 hours later.
Fucking hell.
That was
you got Metal Geared, mate.
I did get Metal Geared.
You got Koji'd.
I literally sat there eating my tea, listening to the dialogue, but I was riveted the whole way through. It was absolutely fascinating. I absolutely loved it. But it's one of those games that I don't feel I could bring myself to play it again. Not in a bad way, but this is now my canon story.
You've seen it, yeah, I get you.
And obviously the mystery's gone. The exploring and finding the mystery out what's going on and so forth. Because there's some really interesting stuff. Because it's sort of fantasy world, there's some really interesting stuff in there. And find this mystery out and all that sort of stuff. Once you find out that's all gone. So the second place I don't. But I'm going to buy a copy for my sister and mother to play, because I think they'll like it.
Fair enough.
But yeah, definitely a massive thumbs up. And as long as nothing else changes, this is probably my game of the year.
Wow, that's...
Yep.
Damn. Okay.
So I'm calling it now, just in case, assuming nothing else changes. This will be my game of the year. Someone's going to have to really knock off its top spot.
That's insane. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, cool. So, but yeah, I just want to throw that in there.
Cool.
Yeah, that is all I've got to say, Skazz, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I've got nothing else either, mate.
Yeah. No. I can tell you about my little project I've got to do I've got to repair somebody's electronics for them.
What kind of electronics?
USB-C port on this.
Oh.
Their kids... It's one of their daughters is lights, it's like a little laser show light thing.
Yeah.
What's LEDs. And sort of light type thing. And one of the other kids broke the USB port very impressively. It took me a while to work out what they must have done was try to put, because it's a USB mini port. I reckon they try and put a micro cable into it. They've bent the cables.
Yeah.
Through the housing. Very impressive.
Wow, that is pretty intense.
They've managed to bend the cables through the housing. But do you know how much trouble I've had trying to buy a surface mount USB connector?
That doesn't surprise me, actually.
Well, I could find plenty of places that sold them, but they were selling them to me in batches of 100.
Yeah, you need to get them in bulk.
Or they were like, okay, we'll say you minimum order's 5. Great. Okay. I think one's minimum order's 10. Great. It's 10 quid for delivery. The light is 23. So it's like, well, for that price, I'll just buy them a new bloody light. But luckily, eBay was my saviour, and I was able to find a guy who sold them for 10p each.
Yeah.
and so I was able to buy a set. So I've got to resolder that, but I'll try and resolder it. But it's one of these like dual layered boards.
All right.
So yeah, if you look up to the light, you can see there's another layer inside. So I'm not sure how well it will solder, but I'll give it a go. Oh well, as my friend's wife said, you can't break it anymore.
Yeah, fair enough.
So I was like, well, that's fair enough. So yeah, I will have to try, and that's a little project. But yeah, well, a little project to look forward to. I'll try it tomorrow and see if I can resolve that. So, and yeah, that's it. It's just, I suppose if it says you can just cut ourselves off then.
Yeah.
So unless you've got anything to add before we move on?
Nah, mate, I've got nothing.
No. So, thank you much for watching up in the Suffolk Ram.
Skazz.
I hope you enjoyed this episode. You can join us again for our next episode, which will be on the 24th of April. So at 9:30 GMT +1 or UTC +1, if you want to use computer code, computer time. You can join us then. You can go see our live streams. Where we do randoms play games. We're starting a new game this week, which is called Skazz. You remind me the name of it? Valheim, which is, what is it, Skazz? Just brief.
Honestly, I don't really know. Zaber says it's kind of MMORPG-y without the MMORPG. I say it's got some survivally crafty things like what we were doing in Green Hell, but it's kind of third-person-y, cel-shady, PlayStation 2-y graphics. Where you go around, you kill little monsters, gather materials, armor yourself up, and then go and fight bosses for whatever reason.
Cool. So we're going to be playing that from Tuesday. Our last Green Hell episode will come out on Monday.
That was fun.
That was so fun. There's some more bits in it. I won't spoil them because there's so many funny bits in it. There's one bit in particular that made me laugh and made you guys laugh, and I won't spoil it, but you'll know it when you see it. You know, it's a bit I'm talking about. And yeah, so you can join us that. So you can join us at that. So every Tuesday at 8:30, you can see me on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/SuffolkRam.
And twitch.tv/Skazzius, SK4ZZI0US.
Excellent. Check out our website, roundnerds.co.uk. And we look forward to doing our next live stream here on YouTube at youtube.com/roundnerds or twitch.tv/roundnerds. So from me, good night.
And have a good one, I guess, guys.
All right. See you guys in a couple of weeks.
Yo. Time to go to Pornhub. I mean, OnlyFans. I mean, go play